Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro at the Sundance Film Festival, and it's time to review You Hurt My Feelings. This is the newest film from Nicole Holofcener, who has not directed a film since Enough Said, but did write Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I'm a big fan of.
Delicious film.
And in this movie, I really felt like I was in the hands of a very, very skilled writer. I could listen to her characters babble on all day, honestly.
The movie's about a novelist who overhears that her husband may not be the biggest fan of her second book. And this tiny little revelation completely breaks her down, and it just destroys her little world. And it makes her question whether she trusts her husband. I thought this premise was really engaging for something that was so small, because I think we could all put ourselves in this situation and we would all find that in our own little worlds, like, this would be devastating. And I was very happy to have Nicole Holofcener taking me through how these characters are going to heal from this and where they're going to come out on the other side. And there's a lot to take away and just bring into your ordinary little life that I think makes this film well worth seeing.
Nicole Holofcener did a great job giving every central character a conflict that resonates with the overarching theme of the story. And the sort of light, breezy tone of this movie made it easy for me to sink into these characters and their relationships and their little worlds.
And the comedy was really well done. Like, there were not many things that didn't land, and I think it didn't feel like it was ever trying to force you to laugh. It often finds comedic moments and really organic things. And I found that the humor was a really cathartic way to tell a story like this, and that the characters who are struggling also use humor to cope. And that was a really beautiful balancing act.
Her dialogue also just flows really naturally. It feels like she is great at putting herself in the scene as she's writing so that she can let these characters just speak naturally.
And she's great at putting herself in every single point of view. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is great here. She has never been better.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, she was pretty good, Enough Said.
Yeah, she was great here too. And I haven't seen Veep, but whatever. It's nice when you have a lead actress who feels like she's very in sync with the writer's sense of humor. And a lot of the jokes are sort of subtle, but with her in the lead, she's never gonna miss them because she is very skilled with comedy, obviously. And of course, she's also a really compelling and natural dramatic actress. And her husband, played by Tobias Menzies, was also equally excellent. It also was really nice that none of the characters felt like they were trying to steal any spotlight from one another. Like, they really blended in and just became people that you could see being in real life. There was also a cameo from David Cross that I found really delightful.
I really liked Michaela Watkins as her sister too. They feel like they have a very fleshed out relationship, and it's very enjoyable seeing the chemistry that these two have. I liked how each of the central four characters also has a complicated relationship with the work that they do and believing in themselves. A lot of people are going to say that this movie is slight, and they're not wrong that it is. But I like that Nicole Holofcener feels like exploring these little ideas and these little moments is worthy of a full film. And I think she definitely proved that it is. You know, there aren't any huge, like, breakdown scenes where characters are, like, going fucking nuts. And even the stakes are not, like, super duper high throughout the movie.
But I would disagree. Like, just because the central premise doesn't feel like it's that big, it feels like, oh, this could be resolved easily. For this character, I think they do make a point that it is kind of life or death. Like, it almost feels like at some point that this is her marriage, and maybe that's just in her head, but I think I believed that her entire life was about to crumble in front of our eyes, even though this was just such a small thing.
I also like how the movie acknowledges the ways in which everybody's a little bit of a narcissist, and how a little comment about your work can feel like it's such a disaster in your little world.
I think it really challenges us to ask on a deeper level, what is it that we expect when we open ourselves up to feedback from somebody that we love? And what is our duty when we have to do that for somebody else? I would really encourage people to go check this one out. It proves that certain stories can be helpful for us in our little lives and navigating our relationships. I think it was one of the highlights of this year's Sundance. I'll give it a strong 8 out of 10.
I really enjoyed this movie throughout, and I would give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
Has someone hurt your feelings today?